What's going on, everybody? My name is Richie Berner, founder of Built to Book, and today we are going to talk about a huge problem that a lot of people in the industry, the B2B industry, digital marketing agencies, coaching consultants, course creators, anybody who has like some sort of like high ticket offer, a lot of the problems that they're facing is building a predictable client acquisition system that helps them scale. Now, what does that actually mean? What that means is you're not just wasting money on ads. You have a game plan. You have a formula. It's not just a mishmash of a bunch of different parts with misaligned messaging and a bunch of crap all put together with a bunch of different freelancers. It's a system. It works together. It feeds off each other. So a lot of people that are in this, phase of that, they're doing 50 to 100K a month, but their lead flow is completely unpredictable. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. A lot of the times that is tied to the systems that you have generating you leads. How much time and effort are you actually putting into building a real system that generates revenue? So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact system that we use to help B2B companies, like anybody who's watching this video, generate predictable revenue with qualified leads and a booked call funnel. Simple stuff, but this stuff has gotten really good now that it's with Facebook's update, and anybody can do it. So I'm just gonna start talking about it. This is my first video. Who gives a shit? So let me ask you this. Are you currently, if you're spending between like 3K, 5K, maybe even 10K or more on ads, but like it's just not working, like it seems like a big waste of money. Maybe you're generating a ton of leads, but you're not getting that many booked calls, and the booked calls that you are getting are kind of shit. Trust me, you're not alone. 37% of marketers are generating high quality leads is their biggest challenge. That's the biggest thing, number one thing that people face. And a lot of the times it does have to do with platforms and what's changing, what's working, what's not. And if you're not on top of that, it's like really hard to make this stuff work all the time. So the problem isn't that you're treating marketing, I'm sorry, let me say this again. The problem is that you're treating your marketing like a series of disconnected activities instead of building one system that all works together. So what most businesses are doing is they are running a system where it's you and you're kind of like the centerpiece to all of this. You're speaking, or maybe you have a project manager who's speaking with the landing page designer and a funnel builder. You have a Facebook ad guy who's doing your media buying. The offer is saying one thing, and then the landing page, it goes to a landing page that might be slightly different. And then you have follow-up emails that might be talking about something else that the copywriter wrote. And the sales calls are kind of spent. The sales calls that you are getting are spent kind of re-explaining the value from scratch of your offer, because prospects really have no idea what you do. That's the biggest problem, is that we're seeing these people do have funnels, they are running ads, but everything is disconnected because they've kind of removed themselves from the process, thinking that hiring a bunch of freelancers and other people to do the stuff for you, without having someone having an actual plan in place is going to make a difference. And then you have these people communicating with each other and you're kind of like not really in it. So yes, if you have an ad, if you have a funnel, whatever the case may be, it might work. But is it working the best that it can? Most of the time, you're just like basically lighting money on fire. And this is what I like to call marketing chaos. So every touch point with every single person feels like a different story. Your prospects are getting confused. You're getting confused. Your conversion rates are terrible. And you're burning money pretty much at every stage of the funnel. Like, for instance, you might be spending 10K on ad spend, and you might be getting tons of marketing leads. People are signing up, putting their email in. You're getting tons of clicks. You're getting a lot of great vanity metrics, but you're getting like 5 to 10 booked calls, and maybe 1 or 2 of them are closing. There's just nothing there. So that's the biggest problem. You could hire a really expensive marketing agency that'll charge you 5 to 10 grand per month and deliver cheaper cost per lead, but they're going to be garbage quality because all they care about are vanity metrics and performance metrics, especially if they're going to be doing performance. I fucking hate performance. Performance marketing is a joke now, because it's so easy to get away with it. The only performance marketing that actually works is a revenue split, because it's so antiquated, and people can get you leads, but targeting with updates and everything. It's just so difficult. So what we need to do is focus on building a system over the course of a sprint, not a monthly retainer, not performance marketing. You need something that works together cohesively, so you end up managing a team of people. You don't end up managing a team of people who don't understand your business. So the solution is to stop thinking of tactics and people who have skill sets, but also to start thinking about systems. A true client acquisition system has 4 main integrated components, so that work together to turn complete strangers into pre-qualified prospects that are going to those calls pretty much pre-sold. So what we like to look at is something like this. It seems very simple. It's not that special. I just have to have some sort of visual aid here. And I do have a document that I'm going to give to you guys for watching. It's really simple stuff. I'm not going to act like this is like the Bible or like Holy Grail, but for some people it might be. So these 4 integrated systems we have are market research, asset production, systems, and I can't even spell. You see how raw this is? This is me not even editing or anything. And launch and optimization, and then all of these things are working together and then being delivered to you through me, basically, if in this scenario. So we like to break these components down to 4 main components, and the first one is component 1, which is our market research. So before we write a single ad or build a single landing page, you need to completely understand your market at like a seriously deep level. So this means complete discovery and market research to identify your unique positioning in the market. And that's why for us, we do like an hour and a half onboarding call. You might think nobody has time for that. Well, if you want something that works, then you will, because you can't bullshit this stuff. You need to put time in. You need to think about pain points. You need to think about angles. You need to think about all the things that your clients hire you for. So in order to construct a high converting offer, especially tailored for cold traffic, not just a warm audience, you need to do this stuff. And there's a huge difference between a warm audience and you saying, hey guys, here's this offer I just launched, to people who may have purchased from you already or who follow you already, to a cold ad and trying to identify and relate to specific groups of people, right? So this is where most people who are launching an offer, this is where they fail. They don't have a good offer. And you're like, well, what exactly is a good offer? So there has to be a core promise, a bundle of deliverables, a powerful risk reversal, and high value bonuses. So add-ons, some that solve adjacent problems, or some sort of like over the top deliverable that makes it seem like you're really going above and beyond. So you might take an offer that works for referrals, and you try and scale it with paid ads, and it just doesn't work because cold traffic, it needs a completely different approach. So you need to complete some sort of what we call a creative brief. It's a 10 to 15 page document that becomes your marketing operating system. And we do this for you during your onboarding calls. So this document contains like your ideal customer profile, your core messaging, your unique value proposition, most importantly, an angle matrix. So we help you create 6 to 10 tested angles mapped directly to your ideal client's pain points, ideal outcomes, how should I say, like emotional attachments to their business, like the what ifs, all these things that, they hope and pray for, but we do a mixture of that and like also things that they're struggling with as well. So the first component of this, of the system that we do is the foundational market research and creating a really good offer for cold traffic. So without that, it's not going to work. And it might take a little while to come up with this, but we need a specific offer. So phase 2 or foundation 2, the second part of this foundation, component 2, whatever you want to call it, is asset production. So Once you have your foundation, you need to create all the marketing assets that will carry your message consistently across every touch point. This isn't just thrown together on a landing page and calling it done. This is in your Google ads, in your Facebook ads, in every single video that you write, in your VSL, the landing page copy, in the pre-call sequence emails, and the organic content that we help you create. Every single aspect of what you create needs to have the same messaging and the same offer. So you need a complete landing page with conversion-focused copy and design. You need a VSL, somewhere between 6 to 15 minutes, ideally. If it's longer and you have that complicated of an offer and it's that high ticket, totally fine. But we can't just do a short brand video. We need something that's educational, something that's comprehensive, and that does a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the sales process. So if a prospect does see this most of the time and they watch it, it's compelling, it keeps them engaged. Most of the time, they're going to watch that entire video and they're going to educate themselves, and some of them are like just want a few clarifying questions when they get on the call. But if you don't have this system all put together, then it's not going to work with respect to the video. We also need 15 different ad scripts across multiple angles to prevent ad fatigue. You need 15 to 20 FAQ videos that answer your prospects' top objections before they get onto the call. And you need to complete an email and SMS sequence where we're talking 16 total emails that systematically build trust and handle objections over the course of 4 to 5 days before the call, right? And I can't get over how important these ad scripts are, these ad creatives are, because of the new Facebook update, which I'll do another video on. But creative diversity is the most important thing right now when it comes to Facebook ads, especially if you're spending more than $3,000 a month. If you post the same video with different hooks, you standing in the same spot with the same shirt on, you just have different hooks and angles in the video, and then the body's the same, and they all look the same. Facebook will treat those ads, even if it's 10 of them, like one ad, and none of it will work. So it's all about creating a diverse experience with the ads, and then their customer experience, right? So that's what they care about the most. So the last thing that we like to do is 30 to 50 social proof clips. These are obviously strategically edited snippets from client testimonials, case studies, and interviews designed to be used across all marketing channels. So we'll help you create these social proof clips. Obviously, with your help, you need to provide us with this stuff. But social proof makes selling to cold traffic a million times easier. It's something that, obviously everybody struggles with in the beginning, but we'll help you create these social proof clips so that people will, again, pre-qualify you to them. And that's the most important part. And I just put a little pro tip down here because content is a real big struggle point for a lot of people. Making content is kind of like a roadblock for a lot of people. So doing it all in one day, blocking it on your calendar, script everything in advance, use a teleprompter, hire someone if you have to, just to get it done, to make you commit, because there's no reason why we can't do it. I've put it off for the longest time, and here we are. So get the content done. Number 3 is obviously our systems and technical setup. So we're just connecting the wires here. This is where most do-it-yourself attempts fall apart. It's probably the most aggravating experience for a lot of people. So doing, making sure your pixel's set up, the ads, everything's all put together, your landing page, it's on your domain. The questionnaire and the automation for the conditional logic for the answers, going to the right calendar, all of that stuff, all that pain in the ass work that nobody wants to do, we do that for you. So this is where most people fail. You need 15 ad variations to launch across all the different audiences and angles. You need to complete tracking and attribution setup, like I just said. You need to know exactly where every lead comes from so you know what they're worth, right? You need your CM automation that includes appointment reminders, no-show logic, and reschedule flows. Your website needs to be optimized for performance, and we're talking under 2.5 seconds load time. I mean, it's important, and especially for your landing page, if that shit doesn't load on mobile, then you're beat, kid. So every second of delay costs you money, right? So most importantly, you need a lead scoring and qualification system that filters out tire kickers before they ever get to your calendar. The prospect who books calls should already be educated about your process and your pricing. For instance, when people come through my funnel, and you might see it if you go through it, there's a question that says, hey, it costs at least this much to get started. If that's not okay with you, then we don't want to work with you. We want everybody to be on the same page. There's no surprises. There's no nothing. Like, if you want to come in, come on in. But that's having, once they see that question, they watch my VSL, they read all the FAQ videos, they start getting my emails, they're going to see that it kind of makes a lot of sense, and they're going to know everything about what we do. So having the CRM and automation for lead scoring, appointment reminders, no-show and reschedule logic, and internal notifications is hugely important. So over 70%, and this is why I said mobile before, over 70% of your ad traffic will be on mobile, so your entire funnel has to be flawlessly designed for a mobile experience. Like, that's the most important part, hands down. So, and then our last phase is what we call launch and optimization. So this is where we're flying the plane here. So this is where we'll do a soft launch using controlled budgets to establish a baseline. Then you'll run weekly optimization sprints based on real performance and data, not guesswork. So we don't want anybody doing any sort of like guesswork with respect to their money and their ad spend. We don't increase ad spend without knowing what type of result we're going to get. All right, so week one, when we launch, we always launch with like a soft budget. We try and like start around like $100, and then we'll increase from there. This is where we'll be able to like leverage retargeting and email lists to establish like a baseline metrics and cost per click. And then we'll double the budget, and then ongoing we optimize and produce creative assets up to 30 a month. Do normally 15 in 2 different batches, depending on what your ad spend is. If you have a very large ad spend, then it's more than that. There's times where we could be testing 30 to 50 different ads at once. So when we do these weekly optimizations, this is when we're launching new ads, and they're all assets that you help us create. So you're a part of this process, very hands-on process. We maintain a continuous testing backlog with 6 to 10 different tests always queued. You're consistently testing new angles, new hooks, new email sequences, and you get weekly growth reports based on, what's performing, what's not performing, where we're holding, what recommendations we have for keeping things in place because they're working, and what we're going to change and how we should proceed going forward. So this isn't a set it and forget it system. This is a systematic, data-driven optimization that compounds your results over time. So the whole point is what a lot of agencies will give you is be like, all right, here's your offer, here's your script, here's your ad, and they'll run the same freaking ads for months and months and months at a time. I've seen it so many times where they'll throw up like 3 or 4 stills, or they'll do, it's just like this bullshit ad campaign, and it just doesn't work. It's so much more hands-on than that, and you need someone who actually knows what the hell they're talking about. So if you don't have that, you could spend money on these big agencies, but they're never going to give you the result that you want. So let's get into the results and timeline. This is what everybody cares about. So let's be realistic about the timeline, because most agencies are going to promise leads and vanity metrics, but they'll just deliver garbage. So week 1 and 2, we're building your foundation and your assets like we talked about. You won't see leads yet, but you're creating the systems that will generate them for years to come afterwards. So this is all stuff that we can use consistently. Weeks 3 and 4, we're launching your system and start generating initial data. You'll start seeing leads come in, but you're still optimizing for quality and cost. 5 and 6, weeks 5 and 6, this is typically when you start seeing qualified booked calls consistently. The system is running, you've optimized the major bottlenecks, and your prospects are moving through your funnel smoothly. And this is when you hit predictable, scalable results, weeks 8 through 12. So this is the optimization period. So by this point, the system is dialed in, and you have a reliable lead flow that you can scale consistently based on your capacity, which is obviously important. So the key difference here is that you're not just getting leads, you're getting qualified prospects who are actually showing up and they close. So our clients typically see their close rates increase dramatically because the prospects who book calls have already been educated and pre-sold by the system. So you'll actually see like CPMs and all of these things are actually a little higher But when it comes to what's actually mattering, your client lifetime value and your CAC, those are what we care about. Your cost per booked call, your cost per acquisition, and how much you're generating over time. We have a whole calculator for it, and I'll do a video on that too. So as you can see, building a predictable client acquisition system isn't just about running some ads and hoping for the best. It requires deep expertise and market research. So it includes things like offer construction, copywriting, design, technical automation, and systematic optimization as well. So most business owners will spend months or even years trying to run ads properly and piecing this together themselves. And they might even give up or forget about it. They might have some guy who's creating shit creatives or just has shit copy, but they're letting them do it. So building the system is a full-time job, and it requires a specialist, someone like me. So if you are an established B2B company, coaching company, course creator, agency, high-ticket consultant, you're doing at least $50,000 per month in revenue, and you're currently spending $3,000 or more on ads, then you're in a perfect place to install a predictable system that generates you 15 to 20 qualified book calls per month with us. That's what we do. So we specialize exclusively in businesses like yours. We've helped dozens of companies exit that feast-or-famine cycle, that smoking that hopium, and building predictable client acquisition engine. So on the call, we'll look at your current process. We'll identify exactly what's holding you back and show you how this conversion acceleration system can be installed in your business within the next 90 days. So click the link below, fill out the short application, and just a fair warning, we only work with businesses that meet our criteria and can make decisions quickly. So if that's you, I'm looking forward to working with you and speaking with you, and expect more content from us. We're going to be talking a lot about ads, funnels, and how to make more money. So talk to you soon.